Are you ready?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the History Things podcast, special video exclusive. Right, we're not releasing this one through the podcast platform. So if you're looking for this one out on Apple or Spotify or whatever, you're not gonna find it.
Check the YouTube.
Check the YouTube or the Facebook or the Instagram, because that's where we're putting this bad baby up. Joining me today is my co-host with the most, author historian Matt Borders. Say hey, Matt. What's going on?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm great, and I am happy to be here. We are doing a special sit down tonight with a good friend of ours.
Absolutely.
Big part of the show in the first half of season 2. Dave from TR Historical has done a lot to help lift us up and make us a much more professional production. We're very grateful for the sponsorship that he's helped us out with this year. And so we wanted to sit down and talk about his business and what TR Historical is. So welcome, Dave. How do I say your last name, Dave? I've never actually tried to pronounce it.
That's okay. I'm used to people messing it up my whole life, but it's actually Bussier, so Dave Bussier.
I was not going to say bus. I was going to go like Boost. I bet you most people go with the Boost.
Yes, they do, but it's okay. It doesn't even faze me. But hey, guys, glad to be here.
Glad to have you, Dave. Where's that name come from? It sounds like it might be French.
Yeah, you hit it. Yeah, awesome. French-ish. Yeah. If you follow it back, it goes up to like Massachusetts, back to Canada, and then back to France in the 1600s.
So very ish. Excellent.
Yes, very ish.
You're good at picking out French names because of the World War I brain you have. You read a lot of the French literature, so that was good. Good pickup there, Matt.
Nice.
So Dave, you are the proprietor of TR Historical, all things excellent and historical fan gear, right? We say it's your one-stop shop for all your historical fan gear needs. So tell us, how you got the idea for TR Historical, what it is, and like how'd you get it going, man?
Yeah, you hit it. I wanted to create a platform where people that were just super passionate about history could engage in it in a unique and different way. And I learned a long time ago that, and you see it with sports teams all the time, that when someone is really passionate about something, they love to show it off. They love to have gear that displays their passion. And whether
this guy does.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Go
think
Yankees.
about all the pirate stuff,
Yeah,
Oh,
Pirates,
yeah.
but like not baseball or football Pirates, even though like Redbeard's a Buccaneers fan. I'm a New York sports fan, just to clarify for everybody out there. Yankees, Rangers, Giants, Knicks, in case you were wondering. But yeah, he's not wrong. I rep that hard, man. Jerseys every Sunday during the fall. I have like Infinity Yankees jerseys, which Matt is like great every time he sees one.
Yeah, and that's the idea, is that, I wanted to make a difference in the history field, but I didn't have the academic background to make that shift. And I wanted to do it in a casual and approachable way for everybody, despite whatever experience level they have in history. And much like you guys are doing with the podcast, in engaging people in your own way, I wanted to take my experience from retail and apply it and create a company that would help people display that passion for history. So that's basically the concept of it and how it all started.
Matt's actually displaying some of your fine work right now.
Got this rocking the TR Historical's Irish Brigade T-shirt.
I know that you're probably wearing a different Iron Brigade or different famous brigade, because we talked about this in pre-show, but I just, a little biased that this is the better of the two brigades, if you want to get into that argument.
I don't know about that.
That's right.
I'm a Midwestern guy myself. I love the Iron Brigade as well.
So that's awesome, man. So how did you get it? How did you get it going? This is an awesome idea. I worked in retail for a long time, when I was trying to be a musician, you got to support yourself somehow. So, retail is something near and dear to my heart, in sometimes painful ways, as you probably can relate to. But how did you decide, because I'm kindred in I don't have the traditional academia background. I just had the incredible passion to want to do this. I wanted to tell stories. How did you come to I wanted to do the apparel, the jersey concept, and then how did you get that going? Because it's awesome. It's super unique.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'll do a quick flashback for you, but in my previous retail life, I was on do the waves, right? I was on a tour, and actually in Disney World of all places, the underground tour under the Magic Kingdom, and they were taking us through, and they were talking about their staff and how to keep everybody motivated and what kinds of things they did for their associates, their cast members is what they call them, to keep them fired up so that when they went out in front of the guests, they were on stage. And I'll never forget, they polled us because we were all managers and stuff, and they were like, well, what do you think motivates the employees the most? Is it like a little bit of,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Is it the occasional gas gift card? Is it, this, that, or the other thing? But the answer was, and nobody got it, nobody guessed it, but it was branded merchandise. And I couldn't believe it. Now, this is a big company, Disney. I mean, they knew what they were doing.
For sure.
And they said, listen, our employees want Disney merchandise, because they're passionate about what they're doing, they're excited about it, and they want to be able to display it. So we give that stuff out to them. We give them discounts for the merchandise and stuff. And it always kind of stuck in my head. And when the opportunity came to make a different life decision, I'm like, there is not a one-stop shop for people that love history. There might be a small business that does American Revolution, and another one that does bookmarks, and another one that does candles. But I wanted to create one entity that put them all together for those customers, then create that niche business. So that's really where it kind of stemmed from, was a seed planted by Disney a long, long time ago. But it's worked out quite well.
Yeah, I should say so. That's actually a fascinating point. I had a good buddy of mine who was with me in college, and he went and worked for Disney for a couple of years after college. And I remember him rocking the Disney love in college. It was definitely a driving factor for him.
I got to imagine people don't go to work for Disney with just like a casual, like, yeah, I watch Disney. I like Disney. People probably go there with they're like, I love this. Give me the mouse now.
Yes. And if you think about it, it's kind of like how we are with history, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. If you put that together, that's the key, is just finding that passion. And when you do, the business kind of takes care of itself. I mean, yeah, there's definitely obstacles to overcome. And with any business, you have to be disciplined and make tough decisions and get through some challenges. But, I started the company in 2018. I started it with a website, and then I went on tour, is what I call it.
Nice.
So I visit a ton of reenactments, conferences, professional conferences, all over the country. And that got me face to face with the customer that loves history, and to be able to share those stories about what these shirts mean, or these socks, or this candle, and hear their stories back. And that's when I really knew. The minute I went on tour, I was like, this is perfect. And then the challenge is just getting in front of those customers, whether it's through a website, using social media, or going out and putting boots on the ground at a reenactment. And I definitely don't mind doing that. I'd rather have friendly fire artillery in the background on a Monday than a conference call any day.
Oh,
yeah.
Anything to get us out these days.
Yeah, so that's actually a good point. So getting out in front of the customers was easy, quotes, because it's never easy, the logistics of touring and moving around, and it's difficult. And obviously you got to pay for all the hotel rooms you're trashing while you're on tour as a rock star like you are.
Well, and moving material too.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. But like, you haven't been able to get in front of a customer in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
How have you managed that?
It's been challenging. I think in 2019, I did 35 events, and in 2020, I did 4. So, yeah, I was able to slip in some before the shutdown. In the South, they do a lot more, even though it's winter. So, like, I was able to get Olustee in, and Andersonville, and some things like that before everything shut down. But yeah, it was a tough year, but that was really the opportunity to kind of focus on the website, focus on how do I reach the customer despite this challenge, and just kind of adapt and pivot. And the podcast partnership is one specific way to do that, is, to reach the customer that loves history, you got to find the venue that's going to connect with them. And at the same point, it helps me with my mission of helping people engage in the field. And you guys are doing that. And, I'd love to support it and make the impact.
Thanks, man. We really appreciate your support. When when we started the show at the beginning of the pandemic, essentially, like we had no idea what we were getting into. We recorded one episode in person, and then we were like, hey, we'll do like the next infinity shows from your place, my place.
Yeah.
But when we did that, it was, when it was good before we were separated because of the pandemic, it was like me and Matt and our guest, and it was all one microphone, and it wasn't the worst, but you could like tell it was like it felt like a really kind of amateur production, and it like wasn't in a negative way or anything. It just was like, it was raw.
We were just starting.
Yeah. But
Sure.
like, we stepped into this year, and obviously we had been like pounding the pavement and stuff. And like, we all knew each other previously from other historical endeavors we've done together. But like, I guess I was like proud when I started talking. I was like, I guess we worked the show into a point where like other people feel like it's worth investing time or energy or whatever in. And so like you invested in us for the first half of the season just to kind of like help us, upgrade. And along with the guys at Addressing Gettysburg, we have a new studio we're recording on we have new gear, and we have the ability to like shrink the community, which is already tight, like into a tighter kind of knot by like saying like, hey, go shop at our buddy's place and like use our promo code with our name. And
Right.
and like you work with a bunch of our peers, which is awesome, right? Like you work with Avery from Battles and Banter, obviously you work with John from the Tattooed Historian and things
Right.
like that. So
That's right.
it's neat to see how you've sort of like helped to bring, honestly, a lot of us who were pretty close before, like even closer together.
Yeah, and I think that collaboration piece is really important because it doesn't. To me, history belongs to everybody, and
Yeah.
you don't need a degree to access it. There may be some things that degree is useful for and gives you the credibility to do, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean that you can keep people from history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I definitely know what you mean.
I definitely am not a fan of putting up barriers to people's history, and I want to do everything I can to break down those barriers. And collaborate, and there's plenty of room to do so. There doesn't need to be competition, and trust me, I mean, coming from corporate retail, I know what competition can do.
Yeah.
And there does not need to be any of that in this field. I don't feel, at least from this perspective, there's plenty of people that are passionate about it. They should collaborate and support and embrace each other's attention to it. And it was interesting because when I first got started, the conversation was, when I first started my business, the conversation was, oh, people don't like history anymore. History's boring, or there's not enough people attending, or, it seemed like everybody was complaining that, that attendance was down. And here I am, and, coming from a business background, and I'm going, well, if any business didn't adapt year over year over year, it would find itself obsolete, right? You have to adapt to what your audience wants. And I think today's audience, they want more engagement than reading a book. They want more engagement than a lecture. And listen, I love all those things. Trust me. I've got watch lists set up for all those lectures, but that's not what my daughter wants to see,
Right.
And when I was on tour, people will ask me, well, what's the age demographic of people that buy your stuff? And I'm telling you, my average age is probably 25. It's like, it's not what you constantly hear is the fan of history. It's all age ranges that are passionate about it, and we need to support that, I feel.
Absolutely. That's basically been my mantra since like I tried to start doing this, is like, and obviously there's a lot of different voices saying the same thing in different ways, which is also part of my belief. I'm a lot sharper and more wrecking ball like you, have a lot more tact and professional demeanor about you, but we're saying the same thing. It doesn't, it's not this like you own this part of history, thus you can't talk about it kind of thing.
Right.
Like it's just like, it's all of our ancestors. It's all of our experience, whether it's your ancestor directly involved or not, you live in the country or the neighborhood or community, whatever. So like, this is a core kind of tenet of what I am. It's just like, I'm a storyteller and these stories are ours. So I love also swag. I'm a huge fan of repping things that I like, not just the sports jerseys. I'm doing it right now. Skyrim is one of my favorite video games ever. I'm wearing a Blackbriar Meadery shirt right now. It's probably delicious. Who knows? But like, it's the concept of it's cool. And I've never seen the like people walking around with some of the shirts that I'm seeing them walk around with now, like the Irish Brigade shirt, or you have a shirt that we're going to talk about in a second here because we're going to ask you about some of the stuff you got coming up, but I'm going to spoil it. You got a Stamp Act shirt that's coming up, and I am so pumped to wear this thing around because I guarantee you half the people won't even recognize it, but I know huge part of our history. It's awesome.
And that's one of the things I get a lot from the customers is they like the gear, especially the apparel, because it's a talking point. It's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
You know, you see the Stamp Act and you're like, oh, and somebody will say, well, what is that? And it gives them the opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, it gives the owner the opportunity to talk about something that they love, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, the point you made about engagement is huge, Dave, because that's really what we're finding in public history venues, be it the podcast, be it a blog, be it the National Park Service. It's the engagement with the guests, bringing that history to them, not even meaning getting to the site, but how does the history relate to them?
Yeah.
Okay? How is this relevant to today? How is this relevant to their lives? And with this, anything we're talking about history, we can relate it to today. We just got to work. And doing the T-shirts and doing some of the fun items that you have in TR Historical's venue, I mean, all of that helps bring this history forward to today. That's what's important.
Another compliment. And you also have some pretty bitchin' designs. It's not even like the artwork is like it's the concept is cool and the artwork is really good. Like the designs themselves are really good. So like it's not like it's an amateur thing. Like they're really cool shirts to wear.
Well, I really appreciate that. I can't take credit for all the designs. You know, the other thing about it is I provide the opportunity for artists and designers or other small businesses to come together and sell under my brand. So
that's awesome.
I can bring
we've
together
seen that actually with some of the stickers and things like that you've been putting out there. That's a lot of different folks' designs.
Yeah, and it helps them because they may have their own parallel website, and that's fine. Like I said, it's not a competition thing; it's a collaboration thing.
Great
where
word.
we'll help each other out and put your products on my site. I've got a new marketplace program I'm getting ready to roll out here soon. So those that have their own designs or their own businesses can contact me and sell through TR Historical because they're trying to reach the same customer. They're trying to achieve the same thing. Let's work together. You know, that's the way I see it.
Absolutely. So what are some of your, I guess, your hot sellers, some of your, not just, let's do this twice. Let's do it this way. What are some of your favorite items and what are some of your like hottest selling items right now? Like what are some of the ones that Dave likes the most? And then what are the ones that sell?
So I would say for this year, it actually would hit on both of those that Dave likes and are selling really well are what you've already pointed to and what Matt is displaying, which is we brought in two Civil War specific brigade shirts this year, the Irish Brigade and the Iron Brigade. So like I showed you before, I've got the Iron Brigade. That's the front of it. And then the back of it.
That's a less cool shirt than this one. I'm just kidding.
And then, that's the front. And then the back of it has battles and stuff. And the Irish Brigade shirt is very similar.
Yep.
With a harp instead of the
it's got the harp of Aaron on it.
That's right.
Really cool harp.
Those have been selling like crazy, and I'm really glad because I wanted to expand in the Civil War field because that's kind of what sparked my interest in history as a young boy. And so those have been doing really well. Dave loves them. We've got plenty of them, so check those out.
Solid.
I would say the other thing, which is actually, it's kind of funny because I never thought that I would actually sell on the website, but I tried socks. And I got to tell you, like, socks have been selling like crazy since I started the business.
You got some socks nearby?
So this one is the number one selling sock on TR Historical,
Rosie.
which is the Rosie the Riveter.
Hey, Rosie.
But we've got everything from Lincoln to Ronald Reagan to Napoleon even. I've even got a Napoleon
that's
sock
awesome.
on there. So
Wait, you can get Reagan socks?
Yes, you can on TR Historical. Yes, sir.
Jesus.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not terribly surprised to hear that socks are doing so well for you, Dave, because my wife's a huge fan of socks. She likes longer socks. She likes mixing her socks, which drives me nuts when it comes to the laundry aspect. But she loves socks, and honestly, the wilder, the better for her.
Yeah, I've
even stuck some history in there for her with socks.
I do the same thing to my wife, but it's a subtle way to add a little bit of extra flair, especially if you're a history enthusiast. It's like, yeah, I'm dressed for work and I'm professional, but check out my Napoleon socks I got.
That's
it's like,
awesome.
boom, it's pretty neat.
I see that. So before I transferred over into the hammers and nails side of the business that I'm in now, my main job, I was in the marketing department for about a year. And so I had to wear like much nicer clothes than I really like to wear on a normal basis. But
Right.
one of the things I noticed was, because I'm not hip, I'm not a fashion conscious guy, right? So I was wearing like Target apparel, but these guys are all wearing like nice suits and like everything's well tailored and all this stuff, but they were all wearing like flashy socks. So like anytime somebody sat in a chair and like the pant legs would come up a little bit, you'd have these like, like black, navy blue, kind of like gray suits, brown shoes, and then suddenly like boom, pineapple socks. And you're like, what?
Yes.
This is like, I never noticed that socks suddenly became this like huge fashion statement. So seeing the history swag, it's so cool.
Yeah, and we have the men's and ladies sizes and tons of different designs. It seems like every month I'm adding more socks, it seems, which is great. I mean, I love to be able to provide that, and customers love it.
And your wife doesn't get mad that you're adding more socks? Like, because if I added more socks, my wife would beat me up, straight up.
Well, she gives me crap about it. I'll be honest, she does.
Dave, no more. That's funny. Oh,
but
man.
The other things that I would say, like the mugs do really well because we do more than just apparel. So like this one here is the Anatomy of a Revolution mug. It's kind of, I don't know how it's going to show up.
Yeah, it's there. We got it.
Brown Bess on there.
Oh,
that's gorgeous.
So this one does really well, but we've got a number like that on the website. It comes with a little description card about what the item design comes from. And then the Funkos and the vinyl figures, which is kind of a silly little thing, but they do really well. So
those are huge.
Yeah. I've got this one on my desk.
Oh, that's awesome. You see those in comic shops and game shops all the time.
One.
Those are huge. That's awesome that you broke into those too, Dave.
Yeah, it's the first one I got for the business, and that one just went right to my desk. That was
one of those.
Immediate markdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything, even like Edgar Allan Poe, we've got Einstein. We have a Reagan one too for that.
Oh, yeah. God. I love Reagan swag.
Yeah, Kennedy. I think we're out of Lincoln now. Always limited time, but
especially this time of year. Obviously, we get this is the one time of year we really, 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 really focus on Lincoln, and it's a shame because we're focusing on his death. But it's definitely the time of year to talk about Lincoln. So I imagine you've been selling out of those. Dave, can I get one of those crossing the Delawares? That was cool looking. I've never seen that one. There's like a bunch of them on a boat in the water.
Yeah, they are limited time issue Funko Pop.
All right,
they're hard
everybody
to find.
listening, they're unavailable. I'm ordering all 50 of them right now.
So if I get a run on them, they may not be available on TR Historical for very long.
No. Well, hopefully you get a run on them because we're talking about them.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, go Steam. What is it? Rush Dave Shop. Buy everything now. Storm Area 51, but TR Historical.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't actually storm Area 51, guys. So what's coming up for TR Historical next as we move, a little deeper? I guess we're in the middle of Q2 now. I guess we're not in the middle, but we're into Q2 now. So what's the rest of 2021 look like for TR Historical?
Yeah, thinking ahead, we get ready for the big Memorial Day to 4th of July event period. We do a lot, obviously, of American Revolution and patriotic gear at that time. So we're onboarding new American Revolution themed items. We got a 1776 We Hold These Truths shirt coming out in a ladies cut with a V-neck, as well as the unisex, like crew neck tee. We've got a Victory or Death shirt that we've had, but we're kind of modifying and bringing a ladies version in for that as well. Cool. You mentioned the Stamp Act tee. That's coming in as well, some tank tops. So kind of that summary patriotic American Revolution period. That's the next big upload to TR Historical now that we've got the Civil War stuff that we just added in Q1. And we also dropped our spring sale today, which will go through this weekend. So a whole bunch of items just across the shop that are reduced in price, and they all ship for free within the United States. We ship pretty much 99% of what we sell on TR Historical ships for free. No Prime membership needed. And if it's international shipping that a customer wants, we can do that too by request. But yeah, we're ready to go. And then you guys have something special for your viewers as well.
That's right. We do, of course, have our promotion that we're running through you. Dave, we've got that 10% off with the promo code History Things. just punch that into the code slot, and it should knock another 10% off for you. And apparently, we were talking about this before the interview this evening.
Double discounts.
Yep. Double
That's right.
discount.
Get your spring sale, get your promo code.
That's right.
One of the things that I want to just clarify for out there, since somebody will probably inevitably watch this weeks from now when the sale is over, this is we're talking April, what's today, the 16th?
16th.
So we're talking starting today, April 16th, and ending Sunday or Monday, Dave?
It ends on the 19th, which I don't have a calendar in front of me. I apologize, but April 19th.
Monday.
So ending Monday, April 19th, 2021. So if you're watching this after the fact, just go to TR Historical and still get your 10% off by using the promo code History Things.
That's right.
Obviously, you can get that for a while now. So that's awesome, man. So 2021 looks like it's going to be big for both of us. I'm very excited for that. We look forward to seeing what you got. I look forward to giving you tons of my money once all this summery stuff hits out there. How convenient and how grateful are we that the founding fathers did all this revolutionary stuff in the summertime when we could grill and celebrate it properly. God, could you imagine trying to celebrate the 4th of July in the winter?
Wouldn't be July.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I mean, dude, technically, you get my point. Anyway, so awesome, man. Well, I look forward to everything you guys have coming up. We're very grateful for everything you've done for the History Things podcast here. Obviously, we've been making big efforts to get here, and we couldn't have made some of these without you. So thank you so much for hanging out with us and investing some of your time and energy into us, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. It is a pleasure to be a partner with you guys, and great job. I really appreciate as a fan what you're doing, and I look forward to more.
All right. So before we get out of here, Dave, where can everybody find you on social media?
On Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you can just put in TR Historical and it'll come up. And we're also on Pinterest, which is actually kind of a nice way to view the whole catalog of merchandise.
Excellent. Obviously, go to trhistorical.com. You can follow Matt on Instagram at @MattBordersBooks. You can follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at History Things with Pat. Most importantly, you can follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at History Things Podcast. And yeah, go to trhistorical.com, punch in the promo code History Things one last time, get your 10% off, for all your sweet historical fan gear needs. Dave, thanks for hanging out with us, man. This has been a hell of a ride so far into 2021, and we hope to just kind of keep this thing going for as long as we can. Never run out of gas. Perpetual motion, baby. It's been a blast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you all for listening and tuning in to the History Things podcast. Thank you all for everyone who's supporting Dave out there at TR Historical. We'll catch you all next time. Later.
Good night.
Good night.